This is Amy, and welcome to Healer Within. Here we explore the many pathways to healing that reach beyond mainstream medicine, from hypnosis and mystical meditation to energy healing, trance work, mediumship, and more. These self empowering, vibration raising practices help awaken the healer within us all. Today, I'm going to read passages from chapter 1 of my new book and first automatic writing piece, Whispers Beyond the Veil, Channeled Teachings Inspired by the Spirit World, which can be found on Amazon. I did not set out to write a book. I set out to listen and to learn, to sit quietly in the presence of spirit, to become still enough, empty enough to receive what longed to be spoken through me, not from me. And in that quiet, she came, a spiritual teacher of extraordinary soul depth, stepped gently through the veil, not with fanfare, not with performance, but with presence, with elegance, with the unmistakable vibration of love that transcends death, and the clarity of a soul who had nothing to prove. Strangely, I did not know her during her time on earth, nor had I ever studied her work. I learned about her from a colleague at a recent conference during a trance healing exchange. What followed was not a dictation, but a dialogue of the heart, a soul to soul transmission. Each teaching in this book emerged through that communion in quiet moments of meditation, channeled conversations, automatic writing, and the mysterious space between dreaming and being awake, which I've come to regard as Spirit's favorite threshold. Through her divine sacred energy, I encountered an essence that felt strangely familiar, like meeting someone you somehow already knew. From that encounter, her presence began to take root in my awareness, subtle at first, but increasingly undeniable. There was a spiritual resonance between us that bypassed logic. It was as if her essence knew where it would be welcomed, and I had unknowingly left the door ajar. Why she chose me as a conduit, I do not fully understand. Perhaps it was the stillness I had cultivated through years of listening. Perhaps it was the softness of my heart, or the fact that I had no expectations, no agenda, and no preoccupation about who she was. I was an empty vessel, unknown to anyone of importance and untouched by the weight of reputation. Maybe that emptiness was the very thing that made room for her presence to pour in. Or perhaps on some deeper level, we had made an agreement long before this lifetime began, a soul contract, a shared intention to bring light in a time when many seek comfort and healing. I do not pretend to understand it fully. I only know that once she entered my awareness, a new kind of clarity came with her, the kind that doesn't shout, but quietly changes everything. Upon completion of this book, I spent many weeks deliberating over whether to reveal my source by name. I considered how her inner circle might feel about her energies transferring through me, an unknown in the world of mediumship. I also wondered if not disclosing her name would be in any way disrespectful to her legacy. Thus, I waited patiently for her guidance, which came forth as follows. The value of what is shared is far more important than the source. So it is. This book and its teachings are not meant to be read quickly, but entered as one would a sacred space, softly, reverently, and with a listening heart. Each chapter holds a frequency, a message, a mirror containing truths best received in stillness. And while this wisdom comes through a feminine voice of the spirit world, it is offered for the remembrance of your own voice. This book isn't about her, and it isn't about me. It's about you. It's about what's calling you home, about the gentle unraveling of everything you were told to be so you can finally become who you are. You will not find formulas here. You'll find resonance. You will not find instructions. You will find an invitation to soften, to trust, to feel, to come back to the ancient, unshakable wisdom within you, the subtle nudge that's always been there, tucked beneath the surface of your awareness. This is a book about releasing the belief and agenda of the ego. Yes, but more than that, it is a book about finding your way home. Back to joy, back to integrity, back to humility, to clarity, to the quiet power of a life lived in alignment with soul. If you're tired of striving, you're in the right place. If you've grown weary of performance-driven life, this book will meet you in your humanity. And if you've forgotten who you are beneath all the roles, titles, and tasks, may these words help you remember. What I have learned from this channeled experience is that spirit doesn't come to impress, it comes to heal. So may this book be a healing, a balm, a light in the darkness, and may you experience what the divine feminine voice of the spirit world has shown me through her unwavering presence. You are not separate from spirit. You are spirit, remembering itself. May the blending of our energy be a warm welcome home. What is sitting in the power? Sitting in the power is not a technique. It is a devotion. It is the daily practice of quieting the mind, attuning to spirit, and steeping yourself in the life force of the unseen. Unlike meditation, which often seeks calm or clarity, sitting in the power is about expansion. It's about plugging yourself directly into source and allowing the natural energy of spirit to infuse, recalibrate, and align you. You are not visualizing, you are not asking, you are not scripting a manifestation list. You are becoming. In this state, the boundaries between the physical and non-physical blur. You feel your auric field grow. Your thoughts slow down. You begin to experience the presence of those who walk with you in spirit, not as separate entities, but as extensions of your own soul wisdom. why sitting in the power matters. Spirit was quick to point out that skipping this practice is like darting into traffic without looking or showing up to a test completely unprepared. We wouldn't manage our daily lives this haphazardly, yet we do it spiritually all the time. We scroll, we strive, we stuff ourselves with information, hoping that knowledge will substitute for connection. But the soul knows better. The soul wants alignment, not achievement. It wants devotion, not distraction. Just as muscles atrophy when unused, so too do the spiritual faculties, clairvoyance, clairsentience, intuition, presence. These lie dormant until called upon. Sitting in the power exercises these inner instruments. It prepares the vessel. The maturity of listening. There comes a time when your prayers must evolve from asking to allowing. As spiritual seekers, we are conditioned to pray with requests, intentions, and goals. But the real power comes when we sit in reverent silence and simply ask, "What would you have me know today?" This is a hallmark of mature spiritual prayer. We stop pleading and start listening. We release egoic demands and soften into trust. We surrender the timeline, the outcome, the specifics, and allow our energy to align with what is best for all souls involved, not just our human wants. The reward, presence, alignment, clarity, guidance that doesn't have to shout because you've already become quiet enough to hear it. Beyond books and gurus, there is no speaker or book on earth that can replace the wisdom of connecting with spirit. None. You could spend a lifetime devouring spiritual texts and still never hear the whisper meant just for you. That whisper only comes in the quiet, in the power. This is not to dismiss teachings or mentors. They have their sacred place. But spirit must be your first and final authority. You must become the tuning fork. Sitting in the power teaches you how to discern what resonates and what doesn't, not because someone told you, but because you feel it in your bones. The forgotten path of daily devotion. In a world obsessed with optimization, quick wins, and instant downloads, it can feel outdated, even impractical, to sit in silence each day. But Spirit reminds us that the most inspired minds in history, scientists, mystics, poets, inventors, listened beyond the veil of the material world. Some knew they were communing with spirit. Others may have called it intuition or some kind of muse, something or someone that inspires creativity and ideas. But the source was the same, a higher intelligence flowing through a willing vessel. Few humans reach the level of spiritual fluidity where they toggle seamlessly between dimensions. Fewer still marry the worlds without even realizing it. This is not just talent. It is discipline. It is practice. It is presence. And now for a final reflection. If you are listening to this, consider yourself called. Spirit is not asking for your perfection, only your presence. Start small. 5 minutes, 10. Sit with your eyes open or closed. Breathe. Notice. Feel. Let your consciousness rise. And most of all, listen. Not to the voice of your to-do list, your doubts, or your inner critic, but to the silence underneath. That is where spirit waits. This is where power lives. In sitting with your soul, you begin to know the self that spirit already recognizes. You become not a seeker of spirit, but a mirror of it. I thank you so kindly, listeners, for taking time out of your busy days for deep spiritual reflection. If you are a workshop facilitator or spiritual coach, ready to deepen your impact with transformative self-study materials and guided group experiences, drop an email to amy@sensoriumhypnosis.com to explore workshop licensing opportunities. Otherwise, you can find this book and my companion journal, Whispers Within, on Amazon. Again, my name is Amy, spiritual hypnotherapist, channel, and metaphysical healer with Healer Within. Until next time, I wish you all a beautiful, bountiful week.